Finding the slope and y-intercept of a line given its equation in the form y equals mx plus b. All right, so y equals mx plus b is slope-intercept form. So, gotta click on this. So we have y equals mx plus, and I'm doing this on purpose because I want to use different colors here. So let's come over here and we're gonna grab green. Or you know what? I'll match their colors here. So we'll have M for red and blue for B. The reason I'm calling these out is because they mean something. So if I have an equation in this form already, a number next to x plus another number or minus another number. So in this case, we have minus 8, still the same equation. What's being added or subtracted is the intercept, the y-intercept. And what's being multiplied by the x, which is just this number next to the x, this m, this is the slope. So all this topic is asking you to do is recognize this equation and then pull some information out of it. So in this case, and they're showing you this down here. So we have y equals mx plus b. So m, which is next to the x, always next to the x, is 9. And then b is what's being added or subtracted, which is negative 8. So our slope is 9 and our y-intercept is negative 8. And that's it. That's all we're going to do on this one is just pull the information out. Okay, so let's go over here. All right, so I have y equals x plus. I'm going to come back over here. So we have a negative in front of here, which I know that does throw some students off. If you just have a negative sign, it means actually negative 1. We just don't tend to put the 1 there. But we're not just going to put a negative over here for our answer. We're going to put a negative 1. And then we have a plus 9. So I've matched the colors on here on purpose. So we literally just are going to grab, I wrote it in red. It's the number next to the x. That is our slope, which is what m represents. So we're going to type in negative 1. And then our y-intercept is in blue here. It's what's being added or subtracted. So we're adding 9, so it's a positive 9. And we check. All right, next one. So I'm just going to keep writing these down here. So we have y. Help if I grab my pen tool. Y equals, I'm going to put x and plus here. So I'm kind of spacing it out. So I'm writing this a little differently so that it will match in the colors, but I want to make sure we understand. So in this case, it is written a little differently, and I have an extra plus sign here that wasn't in the equation. So here, I'll even take it away so it's not, because it was negative 3 minus 2x. So even though it's flip-flopped, it doesn't change anything. We're still looking, m is next to the x, which I put in red here. So m is negative 2, which is our slope. And then the number that's being added or subtracted that has no x next to it, that's our y-intercept. So even though they're out of order, it still works exactly the same. We're grabbing the number next to the x, that's our slope, and the number that's being added or subtracted is the y-intercept. Okay, one more of these. So we have y equals, I'm going to change that. Y equals x. All right, so we're going to come over here and I'm going to write 3 halves. But there's nothing being added, right? Because we should have y equals mx plus b. Well, nothing's being added. So what that means is it's just a 0 in the end. But we wouldn't write that. That's why we don't see it. But as long as you acknowledge that and you know that if you don't see it, then it's a 0. So in this case, we go 3 halves for our slope and 0 for our y-intercept. So again, this one is just about recognizing slope-intercept form and what the pieces mean. All right, we finished that one.